and also help to boost your capacity. Once again, good morning, everyone that is here. This event is also live stream on our YouTube channel and other channels across our page. So we'll be discussing today about equity market, how to invest in equity investment. This is different from forex. It's also different from this is different from forex, and it's also different from the stock market. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, it's just so it's also different from the stock market. Sorry, the commodity market is different from leverage products. It's also different from indices. So it's a very nice topic or a nice course that sometimes people spend about 2 years to study them from the maybe Nigerian stock market, Nigerian Chartered Institute of Nigerian Stockbrokers or security association firms across the globe. But you will be able to have access to all these courses free of charge, because we are observing World Investors Week. So don't play down on it. It's a professional course that you ought to have spent a lot of money to know. And this type of course, we have to give a certificate of learning so that you will know that you are scaled through and understand how the stock market works. So we have our facilitator here. His name is Obi Nnamdi. He's the manager of GTI Trading Floor. He's also a certified person in the area of investment, certified personality in the area of investment and trading, and he has been in capital market for a very long time. He's well experienced in trading both equities, commodities, stocks, stock is equity, ETF, and so many other investment vehicles in Nigeria. He'll be the one that will be taking us today. I'm going to be his student as I speak, because I still want to learn from him more. He'll be the one that will be taking us from today on how equity investment works. But it's going to be a very much practical. So take your pen, keep your pen side away, and also make sure you keep on you keep up with your questions, because we kind of going to be interacting very much. And you have to know how you can get started. But one interesting thing you need to know is that we are not just going to teach you only how to invest in the Nigerian market. We will diversify to the point of letting you know how you can also be in Nigeria or in your location where you are and invest on other international equity markets. For example, stocks are available at the New York Stock Exchange, not at a forex brokerage website. Understand? Because that's our impact. Try to let you know that it's not the same thing which we have been learning. You're learning different things now. So how you can be able to invest in directly with stocks available from the New York stock market. For example, if there's a company you want to invest in their stock that is not listed on the exchange where you are, you can be able to navigate to another international market. The same way, we also teach you how to invest in the Nigerian stocks and how you can be able to maximize the potentiality of it, know how profitable it is. So as a trader, you do perfectly well, because you're not just an investor, you're a trader already on leverage and derivative market, which is forex, commodities, and stuff like that. Then putting all you have learned from it directly to stock market, believe me, you'll be able to understand much better. So join me as I welcome Mr. Obi Nnamdi. Mr. Obi Nnamdi, you're welcome. Take over the class now.
Thank you very much, Uche. I hope you can all hear me.
I can hear you. I don't know. I think everyone should also hear you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think, like you said, we are all here to learn. So we'll end up learning as we go along this course. Thank you for joining from wherever you are. Good morning, a good day. I'll be running through time I have, but I'm going to try to maximize the time as much as possible to see how we can have a greater impact. So basically, we're going to be looking at the equity with the Nigerian experience, while examples will across what's happening across other climes. But specifically, we'll be using Nigeria as the base study for which we're going to be sharing over the next couple of minutes that I have with you. I'll be looking at the Nigerian financial markets, how it works, how you can participate in it, and the kind of risk and rewards that you need to also be aware of when you are playing in this market. And then we'll just have the time to interact to round up the entire session. So I believe over the next couple of minutes, we'll be able to exchange ideas, talk to ourselves, learn from each other, and to see how we'll all be able to improve on what we have done over the period to give us the leverage to do even much more. And but most importantly, be able to play in this market and make the best out of it. Thank you, Chair. So we'll just go straight into the presentation. I think one of the things that we need to also realize that when we talk about the financial markets, especially in Nigeria, is you look at it basically over the regulated markets. I know there are other financial markets. I'm not going to go into the crypto side of it because we are really more of trying to see how we can fully regulate that market. We are excited about what is happening right now in the Nigerian regulatory space. The Securities and Exchange Commission are looking into how to onboard cryptocurrencies, crypto assets, and regulate them. So we'll be able to start moving forward towards that and at least make it more regulated, and we'll not have any issues when you and I would like to trade in that market. But let's just concentrate right now on what we know, what is happening, what is being regulated, because regulation plays a key role in whatever you are doing in the financial markets. So we have the equity markets, which basically in Nigeria right now, there are two major players. We have the NGX, that's the Nigerian Exchange Group. We used to know them as the Nigerian Stock Exchange, but they've done what is called dematerialization. So that they are now an entity, and they're now called the Nigerian Exchange Group. They have several aspects of them, regulation, the exchange itself, and other aspects of it. So basically, this is where trading is done in the Nigerian stock markets. Literally, all kinds of stocks are traded from banks. I would like to use the word securities more because they also they don't just do stocks, they also do other securities like bonds are also traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And then you now have the NASD. There's a difference between the two of them, the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the NASD. So the Nigerian Stock Exchange literally handles equities of companies, PLCs. But there are regulations that require you to come onto that platform, stock exchange. The number of shareholders you have, number of directors, how long you've been in business, a lot of regulation and requirements before you are listed on the Nigerian Exchange Group or the Nigerian Stock Exchange, as we used to know them. So primarily, all the marketing and all the market trades are done on their platform. So whenever you hear it's about Nigeria, the first banks of this world, the MTNs, usually the transactions done on the Nigerian Stock Exchange or now the Nigerian Exchange Group, the NGX. You have the NASD, National Association of Securities Dealers, but they really prefer to be called NASD PLC. They are also an exchange where equities are traded, but these ones are not listed equities. So the regulations for them are a lot lower. They are what is called the OTC exchange markets. So basically, they are not as regulated as the NGX. Requirements for a company to be on the NGX is a lot stranger than being on the NASD. So it's a lot easier for companies to be on NASD, whereby those trades are done over the counter. So prior to NASD, if I had a share of a company that was not listed on the NGX, it was difficult for me to sell it or exchange it. So, but with the platform of the NASD now, it's now easy for me to just take a company like Niger Delta and go to the exchange and have it listed, and it will be traded. So the requirements are not as stringent. It's more like of an OTC market as against a regulated exchange market like the NGX. So those are the two main differences. These are the two major players we have in the equities market in Nigeria, and those are the people that most of the time, anything that you're going to do, you either reference the NGX or you reference the NASD. Then you know, also in the financial markets, you have what we call the money markets. When you hear things like treasury bills, bonds, corporate instruments, corporate CPs, those are more of what we call fixed instruments securities. And one of the major exchange where that is traded is called the FMDQ. FMDQ handles money market transactions. These are different from equities. So if you are buying treasury bills, if you are buying federal government savings bonds, these are usually where it is majorly traded. They also handle foreign currency, FX. They have an FX desk where they trade FX also. But purely money market transactions are done on FMDQ. This is where all the banks actually play on FMDQ platform. So that's where you see. And then you now have the commodities exchange. You know, it's totally different from equities and it's different from money markets. Commodities, that's where you do all your commodity sales, agric, fixed, solid minerals, gold, you name it, uranium, tin, and all of those things. The exchange handles that. So they are called the commodities exchange. Primarily, the two major ones we have in Nigeria, the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange, LCFE, and AFEX. So that is where, if you also want to trade commodities, these are the two likely exchanges you're going to be using to trade. Either you're buying paddy rice, you're buying sorghum, and all of those things. These are all done on the floor, on the exchange provided by the Lagos Commodities and Futures Exchange or AFEX. So basically, you need to have access to these markets using these institutions who have been licensed by SEC to actually perform these functions. Like I said, regulated market is a lot easier and better for you to play in because of the regulations that back it, and most importantly, because of the safety that you're going to have, because you have somebody who you can run to whenever there's a challenge. So this trade, I'll call it this exchange of ideas that we're going to be having. We're going to be focusing primarily on the Nigerian equities market. So we're going to be looking at how equities are traded, stocks are traded in Nigeria, and how you can actually participate in doing that. Be you an investor already, or you're going to be coming into this market newly. We're going to be looking at some of the little things that needs to be put in place for you to be actually coming and actually do trading on the Nigerian market in terms of equity. But for us to have a fuller understanding of this, let us look at the people and the institutions who are actually playing in the equities markets. All these have each unique roles that they play, and a proper understanding of their roles will also help you to understand how the market works in its entirety. At the top of it all, of course, you know you have the regulators, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. Everybody knows them as SEC. They are the ones that actually regulate the market. You cannot do anything in this market, be you an institution that wants to raise capital, be you an exchange where people can buy and sell, be you a broker, a custodian, or in any other capacity that you want to play in this market, you must be registered with SEC. If you are dealing with any institution in the equities market in Nigeria, one of the things you should also look out for is what is the status of that company with SEC. You can always go to the SEC website. They will list out every single SEC authorized party, be it an exchange, be it a broker, various status of the brokers. So if the person that you are trading with or dealing with is not registered by SEC, you need to realize that you are playing in a very uncharted waters, because that could be a challenge for you if there's any reason for a dispute. So SEC regulates the market, SEC controls who and who will play, SEC gives out rules for this market to work in terms of the tradings, in terms of the volume, in terms of who can actually bring things to the market. SEC regulates all of that. Okay. Then you have the exchange itself. Like I said, we have the NGX and the NNSD. So those are the major exchanges, but we'll probably focus on the NGX because the NGX is really the one that really controls the volume of trades in Nigeria. So basically what happens is that stocks are listed on the exchange, the NGX. So I just call them the exchange. Be it a bank, any other institution, the Dangotes of this world, you list your shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And that is where those shares are traded. So for every trade, there must be an exchange. So for us, it's the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We also do trading on the NASD, like I said, when I was doing the introduction. So those are the two major exchanges. Now you have what is called the Central Securities Clearing System. In the olden days, when you buy the shares of a company, they issue you a share certificate and you take that certificate and you keep it. Some of us who have parents will know that, so if you go into your parents' files, you might see all those share certificates. That's an indication that the person owns a part of the institution that he has invested in. It's like an evidence of ownership. Thanks to technology, that has been removed, and the Central Securities Clearing System, the CSCS, has dematerialized all those share certificates. So if you still have a share certificate, you probably need to do what is called a dematerialization and then have it logged into the CSCS system, where they will give you like a statement showing your holdings. And that holding will now be across all the stocks that you have. You don't need to start carrying paper anymore. In the olden days, when you are holding a share certificate of somebody, if you want to trade it, you need to bring it to the person. The person will take it to the registrars. Registrars will verify it, and then they'll now exchange it, and then the registrar will issue another certificate to the next person. All those ones are gone now. Everything is now electronic. As you are trading, your position is being maintained with the Central Securities and Clearing System. And they are also the entity saddled with the responsibility of settling trades. What I mean by settling trades is that when you buy or sell, the person that actually pays you is the Central Securities and Clearing System, the CSCS. They are the ones that does the settlement in terms of you have bought shares, you have sold your shares for 10 Naira. That 10 Naira will now be credited to your account by the CSCS, not the exchange. You see how they work. The exchange is the platform for you to do the trading. CSCS is the platform that holds the position and does the settlement. So if I sell my shares from myself to Uche, CSCS will move the shares from me to Uche's account, take money from Uche and pay me. Okay? Now, another player you have are the stockbrokers. The way the market is set up in Nigeria is that you cannot go directly. You have to go through what is called a stockbroker. They are the ones that are registered to have access to the trading platform of the exchange. Well, thanks to technology, most of these stockbrokers have now extended that facility to you and I. So they give us an online platform where we can trade directly with the exchange. But what you realize is that even if you are trading directly with the exchange, you are trading through a broker because the exchange will not give you access. They have given the access to the broker. Now the broker is the one that gives access to you. So basically what the broker does is to facilitate the trade. If you say you have shares, the broker will check with CSCS, yes, you have it, and then trading can commence. You can either buy or sell. Okay? So you also in this market, you have what is called the registrars. Now, the registrars and the companies work hand in hand, because when a company issues a shares, the registrar is the one that actually manages those shares on behalf of the company. So the registrars and the companies work together to present those shares to the market. You hear things like rights issues. These are done via the registrars. At the end of the day, the registrar maintains a record of all the shareholders of a particular company. So while the CSCS will maintain a record of everybody in the market, the registrars are specific to the company. So you can have one registrar for Zenith Bank, you can have another registrar for First Bank. So the registrar for Zenith Bank will keep the record of all Zenith Bank shareholders, while that of First Bank will do for that. But the CSCS now has an aggregated record of everybody. That is why it makes it a lot easier for us to do the trading. I don't know how much time I have, so let me try and go as much as possible. But your clear understanding of who the players are and what they do in the market is very, very important. One, it helps you to know where to go to do what. If you have any issues, who to go to. If you have any problem, where you can help to trace the problem. If you are trading, you know where your balances are, it's with the CSCS. If there's an issue, you can go to your broker or you can go to the registrar. And if there's a dispute, you have full access to go to SEC and report any of these players, and SEC will come into it. So how does the market work? Basically, there are two parts of the markets. The primary markets, where the institution actually issue new shares which will now be traded in the market. I'm sure most of us, if you're in Nigeria, you know a lot of activity is currently going on in terms of the public offers that we're seeing. The banks are raising new capital, so it's public offer. So initially, what happens is that they go raise those shares, people buy it. When you are buying a public offer, you are buying it outside the exchange. You need to understand that. So the company will raise the money, issue the shares, and then when the shares are now being issued, they are now brought to the exchange. And then that is when trading can start, which is now the secondary market. So initially, for the first time, the company has to issue those shares and present it to the exchange. The exchange lists those shares, and from there, trading on those shares can now start. So whenever you see that First Bank has gone up or Dangote Cement has gone down, it is only what has been presented to the exchange that are tradable. I hope we're all following. We'll have time to interact towards the end of this program. So like I said, trade at the exchange, there are listing requirements which the exchange will give you. So you have to do all that to actually list those shares. There must be a particular number of shares that you must have open for people to trade. If you have 100 million shares, there's a minimum you must present to the market. You can't keep some and you don't decide what you keep, because the whole idea is that the market should be able to be active, and that is very, very important. And the exchange, I'm going to use the NGX as an example. We have rules for trading. Market opens every single day of the trading day, Monday to Friday, excluding public holidays, between the hours of 10 and 2:30. So trading can only happen between the hours of 10 and 2:30. Actually, trading actually starts at 10 and ends about 2:20. Between 2:20 and 2:30, there's what is called the market making sessions, where the exchange actually closes. So trading are limited at that point, where only closing positions are being rounded up. But primarily, we trade between 10 in the morning and 2:30 every day. So that is what we need to understand about the markets in terms of trading. Okay, I have your message. In terms of trading times and then pricing. When you go into this market, you see that a particular stock is selling for 10 naira, another one is selling for 5 naira, another one is selling for 15 naira. How are the prices done? The pricing are dependent on a lot of listing requirements, where the initial price at which the stock comes to the market. You don't just wake up and say my share is worth X naira. There are rules in terms of how strong your capital is, how strong your balance sheet is, what sector that you are doing, the kind of returns that you are making. There are technical ways for which the market values your stocks. And if you realize, like I said, the first time you are coming to the market, that valuation is done in conjunction with the exchange, auditors, valuers, so many things, the issuing houses, and we now come to a value. So we now say this stock is worth 10 naira. And then when it comes to the market the first time, it is listed at, say, 10 naira. So once it's now listed at 10 naira, you and I can now start playing that market in terms of pricing. You and I can determine whether the price will go up or the price will come down. So if a company comes to the market and lists at 10 naira, I can say, I feel that this stock is worth 9 naira 50 kobo. I'll put my bid for 9 naira 50 kobo. Somebody will say, no, it's worth 11 naira. They put their bid for 11 naira. But you see, what the exchange has done is that it does not allow you to just come in and put in any arbitrary price. Because somebody can say my shares are worth 10 naira, and somebody can wake up in the morning and say it's worth 1 naira. No. What the exchange has done is that on every trading day, there's what is called market movement. So the price cannot go lower than 10% and higher than 10% every single day. So what that means is that you cannot put a price below 10% of the starting price of the day or above 10% of the starting price of that day. So in every single trading day, the trades for that day must be within that 10% up or down range. So a company cannot lose more than 10% a day or gain more than 10% a day. That's one rule that they have put in place. And also, for you to move the price of a stock, you can't just buy 1 unit of a stock and because of you bought 1 unit, the price will move. No. There are some stocks, they are put in categories. I'm going to show you when I do a small demo for you. For you to change the price of a stock, you need to buy a minimum of 100,000 units at once. So if you hear that some prices have changed, it's because somebody has bought 100,000 units of that stock at that price, either up or down. So if a price was 10 naira and I say I'm going to buy it at 11 naira and I buy 5 units, the price, you will pay the 11 naira that you quoted, but the price of that stock will remain 10 naira. So if somebody comes and says, I want to buy the price at 9 naira and is able to buy 100,000 units of that stock, the price will automatically change and the new price for that stock will now be 9 naira. Okay, and so on the exchange, it's a willing buyer and a willing seller. Once the company lists their stocks, they literally do not have control over how the prices go up and down. The control they can only have is that when they go and do very well in their financials, people will now start valuing them well and their prices will start going up. So how do you enter this market? For you and I to play in this market, you must register with a broker. Like I said, you cannot go straight to the market without having a broker. So you can register with a broker, and in registering with a broker, the first thing they're going to open for you, if you remember what I said, is your CSCS account. Each person must have a CSCS account. You can have multiple brokers, it's not a problem, but for each broker that you have, you must have a CSCS account. And that's what is called a CHN number. Basically, the difference between the CHN number and the CSCS account number is the fact that each person is supposed to have one CHN number. So if I have 2 brokers, I can have 2 different CSCS accounts, but I will have one CHN number. That way they know who I am across all the brokers in the markets. So the first thing I'm going to do is open a brokerage account. They will open a CSCS account for me, give me a CHN number. If I'm a new person, or if I already have a CHN number, they will use that same CHN number for me. With that, I have access to the market. I can now buy and sell, either directly by myself using the broker's access, or I'll be sending instructions to the broker. I can tell the broker to buy or to sell. If I want to buy shares in Dangote Cement, I'll tell the broker that I want you to buy Dangote Cement. Broker will tell me Dangote Cement is going at so and so amount. I'll pay my money. He executes the trade for me. The stock gets into my CSCS account. In Nigerian market right now, when you do a trade, if you do a trade today, it settles in 3 days. What does that mean? If I buy a stock today, it will settle into my account in 3 days' time. It does not settle immediately. This is very important, especially for people who are selling. If you sell today, you cannot collect money today. You need to wait 3 days to collect your money. Unless you have an agreement with your broker and they can give you what is called an early settlement. But if you are doing that with your broker, you will need to do what is called opting out of what we call a direct sales settlement. If you remember what I said, when you buy or sell shares, it is CSCS that does the settlement. So CSCS, actually, when you sell, we pay the money straight into your bank account, not your broker's account. But if you are somebody who's going to be doing a lot of trading, you buy and you sell and you buy and you sell, it is always advisable that you opt out of this so that the money goes into your brokerage account. What does that mean? When you buy, they take the money from your brokerage account. When you sell, if you don't pay the money back into your brokerage account, you need to transfer it from your normal bank account back to your brokerage account again before you can buy another shares. And because of the online platform, you can buy and sell immediately. With that, you can escape the T+3 cycle if you are trading. Let me repeat that. If you are buying and selling, and you are using your brokerage account to do that, it means that I can buy First Bank today and sell it tomorrow. I get the money, use the money to buy another one. But if I need cash to withdraw from the system, I must wait T+3, 3 days. I hope I'm clear in that, but we'll take questions, and if there's any clarification, I'll do that. So when you play in the market, you need to understand what is called the all-share index. Basically, when you read market news, they tell you the all-share index rose by 5, sometimes 0.1%. All-share index just takes an aggregate of what the market is doing, its valuation, comparing to the previous day and the current day. That means if the total value of the market is about 15 trillion, and today it has gone to 16 trillion, that means it's gaining. And at the same time, it could also be losing. Okay? So when you are playing the market, these are some of the things you need to understand. What is the market doing? As we speak today, the all-share index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange has done 30% year on year from January. So we've done about 30.7% is what the all-share index is doing, which means that the market is, if not, is close to inflation or beating inflation. And I don't think there's any money market instrument that is doing that. You also need to watch the losers and gainers of the market, because in this market, there are some will gain, some will lose. All-share index gives you the average of everything that has happened in the market. So if you're on the losing side, even if the exchange is doing 30%, you might not be doing 30%. So you need to also know that. And then you also know the value of the stock, how liquid are the stock. When you are playing in the Nigerian market, this is very, very important, because for us who are traders, you want a situation where you can come in, buy the stock. If it improves, you get out. Even if it's not doing well, you might decide to cut your losses and go out. That is why it's always advisable to buy what is called liquid stock. Liquid stocks are stocks that you always have activity. Check the news. You know, when they say how many volume the stock has done, it shows you how liquid it is. Because unlike other clients where at any point in time, if you want to sell, there's always a buyer because they have a market maker. In our markets, you might want to sell and there'll be no buyer. And you have to wait until the buyer shows up. So that is also important when you're playing the market. You need to look at things like that. There are stocks that pay dividends. When you are calculating how well you are doing in the market, we're going to look at some of them. You should also realize that there are some stocks that they appreciate in price, they don't pay dividends. Some appreciate little in price, but you are consistent dividends. So by the time you apply the dividend that they are paying you to the stock price, it also helps you to know whether you are doing well or you're not doing well. Okay. But one thing you also need to realize here in the Nigerian market is that there's a huge cost of transaction. For every trade you do, you pay the broker. There's a percentage you pay the broker. You pay the exchange. You also pay CSCS. That's this custodian I told you that's helping you to do the settlement. And then you pay SEC. So SEC also needs to be paid. You pay the broker. There's a brokerage fee you're going to pay. There's a fee you're going to pay to the exchange. And then, of course, SEC themselves, the regulator, collects a percentage of what you are trading in this market. Okay. What I'm going to do now is, I hope you all still see my screen. I'm going to switch and show you a live market as a demo. Let me see how I can get it across. I'm going to take you to a market. Can you all see my screen? Just indicate with a thumbs up, please. You might not see anything.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you so much. This is, I work with GTI Securities. We have a trading floor. So this is our access to the Nigerian markets. This is a live connection to what is happening right now on the NGX. Depending on the broker that you are using, they will give you something. It might not look exactly like this, but the features will always be the same. If you look on top now, you see what is happening in the market as we speak. Japan Gold is going for 2.45 naira. UBA is going for 26.85. Immediately, there's a trade. A trade just happened at 11 o'clock. So as trades are happening, you are seeing it on your dashboard. The exchange itself, they have what is called several boards. They try to categorize the boards into so that you'll be able to see them. Yes, okay, you are seeing it now. We have several boards, mutual funds, OTC instruments, premium board. The regular board, we have fixed income instruments. Like I told you, the exchange also does not just equities, they also do some other securities. Okay, but let's look at one of the boards, which is the premium board. This is where you have the likes of Access, Dangote Cement, First Bank of Nigeria, MTN, Seplat, UBA, and the likes. With this platform, you can see what each company is doing directly on the exchange. If we let's take First Bank as an example. First Bank opened today. If you look at the top, you're going to see something that says open. It opened today at 25.55. The last major trade done on First Bank was at that figure. If you remember what I said to you, at every single day, the price has to be within a 10% range. So today, First Bank cannot go below 23 Naira and it cannot go above 28 Naira. It can go anywhere between that 20. It can go 23 is the last it can go today, and 28 is the highest it will happen. This is a live trade. If you see this graph that you have here, you can see what has happened from the time the market opened for First Bank. First Bank opened today at 25.50 at 10 in the morning. It has gone all the way up to 25.60. It has come down, it has gone up, come down. I think the highest it has done today from what we are seeing on this graph is 25.70. So one share of First Bank has sold today at 25.70. But if you notice, the volume at 25.70 was just 129 units. Like I said, that was not enough to change the price of First Bank from the 25.55 it opened up with. So sometimes people will look at their broker and say, the market closed at so and so price. But when you bought for me, you bought at a different price. Market swings every single minute. Market swings every single minute. So as the market is swinging, people are buying and selling at different prices. If you look at this central place here, where it says a buy and a sell. Can we please mute, please? Where it says a buy and a sell. This is exactly how, if you are playing the market, you need to study this, because this is where the action really happens. If you see this one now, somebody wants to buy First Bank at 25.60. Another person wants to sell First Bank at 25.65. That's where they are waiting for each other. So if I want to buy now, I can buy at 25.65. If I say I want to buy, if I click buy at 25.65, the market will supply me. But if I'm buying, I want to buy at the lowest price. I don't want to buy at the highest price. So I always look at the market and I go down and start saying, these are all the people in the market. We are seeing how trading works right now. If you can see, there are more sellers. There are more buyers than sellers. More people want to buy than those who are selling. Ideally, what that portrays is that the sellers can say, since people are hungry, I will wait. So they'll keep their prices high. And then you will now say, if you don't want to sell, I will also wait for you. That is the dynamics of the market. So I can say I want to buy now, and I say I want to buy at 25.55. If I put my trade at 25.55, it will come and join this one here to wait for anyone who is willing to sell to me. Until anybody agrees to sell at this price, I will not be supplied. So there will be no trade for me on that day. I can also wait and say, instead of not getting at all, let me go and buy at 25.65. That way I can trade in the markets. So as trading are going, we are seeing people buying and selling. We are seeing the volumes traded for First Bank right now, a total of 319,372 has traded already for First Bank as we speak. This is the same thing that will happen to all the other stocks in the market. And based on who you are using as a broker, once you've been set up, your CSCS account has been set up, your account has been funded. If you click a buy here now, the trade will be executed immediately. Or if you click a sell, that means you have First Bank already and you want to sell. If you put in your account number, you put in the volume, and you put in the price, what I always advise everybody who is trading online, because when you are putting in the price, there are two types, market and limits. If you say market, what you are telling the system to do is that go to the market, whatever you see, whatever price that is trending, use it. So you can be looking at the market, and the market is telling you that First Bank is doing 25.65. But in a split second, it can change. So I always advise that whenever you are trading, especially for yourself online, always specify the price that you want. Put it as limits. When you say limit, the system will allow you to put in a specific price. So if you want to buy at 25, you put it. If you want to sell at 28, you put it. So that when the system gets to the market, it will only execute if it can match that price. The system will also show you all the trades that are going on in the market as they are happening. You can see right now, Transpower has just scored, Fidelity transaction just happened, Nigerian Breweries, GTCO is also, Owando is selling. Somebody just bought Owando at 68 Naira 80 kobo. So you have full access to the market. You can buy and you can sell. And that's where you make the money or you lose the money, depending on which side of the transaction that you are on. Okay, so that's a quick review of the market. You have all the symbols in the market. So if any stock that you want, you can list it out from the entire market is at your fingertips. Nigerian Breweries, Champs, Dangote Sugar, you name it. All the banks are there. You can identify whichever one you want. The one that seems to be making waves now in Nigerian market, Japan Gold. They seem to be doing a lot. Currently trading at about 2 Naira 48 kobo. You have Julius Berger, Asako, Livestock. So basically you have the market, and like I showed you, you have a graph that shows you the trend, either for the day or for a period, and you can use that to do your analysis. The highs and the lows, the last price, you can get it. How the 52-week low, that is the highest price that's traded in the last 52 weeks, the lowest price, and the minimum and the maximum, and the volume it has traded for the day. All of these are statistics that you need to learn, you need to understand, so that you'll be able to make a judgment in terms of one, share selection, knowing when to get in and when to get out, to know when you can make money off the markets. But what I've tried to help you do now is to understand how easy it is to get into this market after your analysis, deciding on which stock you want to buy. This USCN, I see what is going on in the market for USCN. I can either do a buy or a sell. I can see the graph trends. As you can see in this graph, there's a USC seems to be dipping. From opening at 21, it has now dipped to about 20. So it's dipping. So there's something going on. You might not need to do your analysis to find out what's happening for USCN. This is a typical example. Why is the price going down? A clear look at this shows that there are more sellers than buyers. So people are leaving. What's going on? So this is also things that you need to look at. And that makes it very simple for you to trade in the Nigerian market. I know I did not ask for how much time I have, but let me just quickly go back to the slide. I will just round up on that slide so that we can have a quick discussion and take questions if there are any. So I think we've done that. I've shown you the market. Like I said, selection. Can you even make money in this market? And the answer is a very big yes. But you need to be very careful in what you are doing in price selection. The graph, the spreadsheet you are seeing there is some of the top gainers in this market. Between January and October, a particular stock has returned over 600%. I don't know where else you can get that kind of return. There are some stocks that have done over 188%. The lowest on this list is 73%. So if you had picked some of these stocks in January, by October, you have more than doubled. You have gained 6x minimum. But price selection is key. You must know the price. You must know the sector. Which sector is this? You must know the economy, what is driving it. You need to do some technical analysis, and that's is another course. I'm sure the training school will give you. There are other trainings that you can also handle for that. But most importantly, you need to listen to the market to know what's going on for the particular stock, particular sector. Those of us in Nigeria, we're knowing what is happening with oil right now, petrol. Is that an indication that petrol stocks are going to go up? That's where you see. Where is the economy heading? In Nigeria, where the government is a major spender, if you look at a stock, a sector in the economy where money is being pumped in, those players, those companies in that economy, do you think that it's something to look at? A lot of construction work are going on. Is that why Julius Berger has done over 200%? Are they the ones getting the contracts for all the roads that we are seeing? Those are things that you look out for when you are doing your stock selection. Power. Is there money being made in power, oil and gas, and then the lights? Okay. But one thing you also realize in the markets, as you are making money, some people are losing money. This is the bottom end of the market. A particular stock has lost 81% since January. Some have lost 32%. MTN has lost 27.9% based on their price movements. This is purely based on price movements. Nestle has lost 19%. But you see, when you have some of these numbers, you also need to realize that even though some of them, their prices have gone down, they might have given dividends. So when you apply the dividends, it might also help boost the actual percentage of returns for you. So you might not be able to take this in isolation alone. You might also need to look at, has any one of them paid dividends in maybe in this period that I'm looking at these statistics? Because if a company like, say, an MTN has lost 27%, but they gave me dividends of about 1,000 naira, which a yield of maybe about 30%, that would knock off this loss for me. Because even though the price has come down, I have made money to cover the losses. So that's a training for another period. But those are the things you need to have in mind. But can you make money in these markets? The answer is yes. So what are the risks involved? There are also virtually risk and mitigants. Like I said, we have custodians. What that does for you is this. What the market has actually done is that they've taken the process of holding your stocks away from the people who are going to help you trade it. What that means is that your broker does not have hold of your stocks. It only gives you access to trade those stocks. So if anything happens to the broker, your stocks are safe. So that's where the custodian comes in. You can always go back to your CSCS account and move it from one broker to the other. If you remember, I said you can have multiple brokers. That's why you have a CHN number. So it gives you a unique identity with CSCS, and you can move your stocks across brokers. Liquidity of shares. For Nigerian market is something you need to pay attention to if you're going to enter into any stock, because you can actually buy it and not be able to get out. That's very, very important. There are some stocks that are not liquid. People don't buy it regularly. So it's always better for you to play in the side where you have stocks that you can go in and come out. Even if you're not making money, you should not tie down your money. And then the price movement, like I said, it is restricted 10% up, 10% down. It can't go beyond that every day. So if you want to do a day trade in our market, the highest you can get is 10%. But you can get 10% day on day, provided the quantities are met, and that's to change the price. Like I said, some stocks you need to buy 100,000. The high-end stocks, you need to buy 10,000 units before the prices can change. One of the things that we also realized that is also a risk is the fact that there are some companies, very good companies at that, who are saying to us, I'm no longer playing in the market, I'm delisting. So if you own those shares and the company delists, what that means is that you are out of the market. It means that you can't sell it without maybe going to NASD if you are lucky, or looking for somebody who will buy it. So my own advice, takeaway is this: for anybody playing, not just in the Nigerian market literally, but for virtually every market, study the market, put your ears on the ground, make sure you know the stocks that you are buying and you're selling. The parameters I've tried to give you, take a look at them, help you to do the analysis, and always be on top of what is happening. Thank you very much. These are my contacts. Like I said, we have, I'm part of a group, GTI group. We have a trading floor, GTI Securities and GTI Asset Management. We play both in the equities markets, the money market, and the commodities market. So you can always have access to this market through GTI. I would like to see you and get to meet with you. At this point, I would like to hand over back to Uche so I can moderate, and then we can have a discussion. If there are any clarifications you would like me to make, I would very much like to take it at this point. Thank you very much for listening.
Well, everyone, so I think we have to go in for questions and answers. Can someone hear me, please?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
My fellow traders in the house, to me, Tope Nwafo, Ghost Time, Karima, Henry, Bawato, Nwamusu. Sorry if I get your name wrong, to be honest. Felix Idowu, so Emeka Ojuku, and co. So what do you understand with the presentation? So for me, it was an amazing one, a big eye-opening. I don't know of you, but did you learn something now?
Yes, sir. The program was...
So, me, I have my question. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask my question because I learned from everyone. I have my question.
Yeah, girl.
So when you said two types of market, primary market and secondary market. So people buying the shares in the first from the company and they trading the shares from the trading the shares of the company. So what are the difference?
All right.
Like for example, when I buy Dangote share now, and when you trade Dangote share for me, So what are the difference?
All right. So when you buy in the primary market, basically the company determines the price of that share that they're selling to you. That's the major difference. When they are coming to the market, they will get their valuers, their accountants, and all of those things. They will say, this share is worth 10 naira. You don't have a say. So they tell you that the share is worth 10 naira. So you now buy it at 10 naira, and it now comes to the market for trading. But immediately it reaches the market takes over within the bands of every day. Like I said, the 10%. So even though the company has said that their price is 10 naira, at the end of the day, the market might price it at 8 naira. That's the major difference between primary and secondary. Primary is when the company is issuing those shares to you, to investors, at the price determined by the company. When I say determined by the company, they don't do it in isolation, because they must even justify it with the exchange, because it's still coming to the exchange. So, but there are rules around it. But basically, you and I, you don't have a say in that price. That's the major difference.
Oh, okay. So on the trading floor, the trading dealing firm or the market itself will have a say when it comes to trading floor. But when it comes to the point of issuing it, the trading floor doesn't have a say.
No. It's the company that determines how much they want to sell. But there are rules. They just can't put any price, but there are rules.
Perfect. Now, on the trading platform, you see, we saw buying and sell. We see some stock, some chart that is going down and some stock that is going up. Now, does it mean that I can take short position and or long position?
That's a very, very good question. Do we do shorts in Nigeria? Not yet. Not yet. We are working out, the exchange is actually working out something to do a short position. But the Nigerian market right now, they don't do shorts. But there's a plan to get short positions in place. So being able to buy what you don't have. The way they are structuring it is that if you want to short, you actually have to borrow the shares from somebody, then sell it, and then later buy it back and return it. So it's not the normal shorts that you and I are used to, for those of you who play in the foreign markets. In Nigeria, the structure that we have in Nigeria is that if you want to do a short right now, you look for somebody that has those stocks, borrow it from him, do your trade, and then you've already agreed with the person that I'm going to give you back those stocks, say in the next 1 month. Do the sell. When it make your money, buy it back and return it to the person. That's the kind of short we have in Nigeria. Really complex, not something that people do regularly.
Okay, so basically, when I click on sell, it means selling off my share to get my money into my bank.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So now, assuming someone wants to get started, how would the person get started?
It's very, very easy. You need a broker. Of course, I recommend GTI Securities. You can always go to our website, gti.com.ng. You open an account. Straightforward KYC is done. You need your BVN to trade in Nigeria, because CSCS need to open an account for you. They need to get your bank details so that they'll be paying you during the settlement. So standard KYC, your BVN, means of ID, and passport photograph, and that's really it. So once you submit that to a broker, which you can do online, you don't need to go there these days. Thanks for technology. In 24 hours, your account will be opened. And then if you want to do the trading yourself, you can request for online access, like the one I showed you. Online access will be given to you. You will fund your account. That's for the first time, because you must have Naira in your account. The system will not allow you to buy if you don't have money. So once your account is funded, trading can go on.
Now,
So
there's a question that most students like to ask. Let me assume to be a student now. So what is the minimum someone can use to start trading in the Nigerian stock? And are there maximum as well?
Well, maximum. If you give me 1 billion, I will collect, but I'll do KYC on you to make sure that the billion is coming. But in terms of minimum, actually there are really no minimums. But what you discover is that brokerage houses will require you to at least put in some money. Basically, it's not as if it's a charge, it's for you to fund your account. Because in the past, we've noticed that people will just open accounts and not do anything. So for us at GTI, the minimum when you want to start, a minimum of about 10K is fine.
10,000
But
naira.
that's 10,000 naira. But that's because, but that money is for you to trade with. It's not as if we're going to take it. But it shows us that you are serious. Because we have huge number of clientele base when we're opening accounts. We've opened accounts for you. We've done CSCS accounts for you, and we don't hear from them. So, but if you're a regular trader, you can see me, we can start even with 5K, but the most important thing is you are going to trade. So for Uche, your team, we can even bring it down to about 5K. But the standard for GTI Securities is 10,000 naira.
It's 10,000 naira. So guys, do you have a question to ask? Because of this is a very unique topic or unique course. If you must have noticed, it's a very unique one. Those who are not here, and I'm sure they are missing. So do you have any question?
Good morning. This is Henry. My name is Henry.
Good morning, Henry.
Yes. It's a nice presentation in terms of it's an eye opener for this for stock trading. So I want to know, like those are offers that are just, though I'm not really new, I have some stuff I just bought and just left it for a long time. So do you recommend like stocks based on analysis, recommend to your clients to buy stuff like that? So that's my question.
Yes, definitely. We do stock recommendations, okay? But at the same time, we'll call it a recommendation.
Yes, at the end of the day, it's a recommendation.
We do stock recommendation. We actually bring it out every week. If by the time you join us, we're going to put you on a particular news mailing list. Not only will it give you stock recommendations, we're going to give you market information, news that we're hearing in the market, so that will also help you make your own informed decisions. Because news drives the Nigerian market a lot. So as things are happening, people are listening, we are also putting our ears to the ground, and we'll always give you advice, like we say. And then, but if you feel that there's a need for you to say, okay, look, guys, this is my money, manage it for me. There's a portfolio management service that we can also afford you. But in that one, basically we take decisions and we agree on expected returns. To be honest, nobody can guarantee you returns in this market, but this market has consistently done above inflation for a while now. And we don't see any reason why we'll not get good returns out of this
market. Perfect. Mr. Felix Ilodubo, I want to ask a question. Mr. Henry, are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied with the answer.
Oh, perfect. So
maybe before the end of the Zoom, I also like to get your contact and stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll post it on the system.
All right.
Okay.
So,
thank you very much.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was quite detailed. My question is, at the beginning, you did make mention of the fact that You will show us how those of us in Nigeria at least can participate in other stock broken, like enjoy stocks in America and all that, foreign shares. And perhaps the avenue that gives that will make one to enjoy dividend, because some of the platform we have nowadays, I don't think they enjoy dividend, like Bamboo, Chaka, and the rest of them. I don't think they give dividend on those platform. We want a platform where at least we can also enjoy dividend once it's paid in those foreign companies. Thank you.
Okay. I think Uche will take will handle that. But one thing those other firms have done is that they do what is called fractional shares. Okay, so basically you don't actually buy the share in full. You actually buy fractions of it, which is why maybe it's a little bit difficult for them to distribute dividends because of the fractional nature of it. So, but Uche, I'm sure they have a platform which he will also share with you on how to buy shares. But it will also be worthy of note that I think one unit of an Apple share is about $2,000, right? Or thereabouts. So it will be nice for you to realize what it will take to get those shares. They are not cheap. And then be able to enjoy the full dividends when it's declared. Uche, over to you.
Yeah, so your question, Mr. Felix, some of those brokers you mentioned, they are tech brokers. So they use technology to connect to international, just as Mr. Nnamdi just said, they give you fractional shares. But how we can traditionally buy from them is easy, in the sense that let's use GTI, for example. If GTI Security is a Nigerian broker and works directly in partnership with maybe ABC Security in the UK or US. So now that particular broker will give this guy the GTI access in Nigeria for them to onboard international clients. It's called B2B transactions. So you can be able to access that same shares in that country through another security dealing firm member, which is a broker in another country. Do you understand? So that's how it is done. But the light of the ones that you mentioned is basically mostly tech empowered. So the easiest way to connect is, for example, I'm sure GTI has office in the UK. Assuming the office in the UK is trading directly with the broker in the UK, so you could be able to facilitate order or invest in the UK market through them in Nigeria. It's as simple as that, unless they don't have access to that market. Do you understand? Yeah. So I don't know if there's another question, because one question is also ringing in my head. Any questions so far? Tommy talk about 1 for August time. Did you understand something then? So I have a question. My question is this. Can you clarify us concerning ETF and the direct shares?
Okay. That's ETF, exchange traded.
Yes, exchange traded product. Yeah.
Product. So basically, what that tells you is this: instead of you investing in one stock, you could have what is called a basket of stocks being put together to form an exchange traded product. Like in the Nigerian stock market now, we have the NSE 30. What that means is that they've gathered 30 stocks together, and you can now trade the movement of that stock as against an individual stock.
That's like US 30. US 30 and the S&P 500.
Yeah, but we have our own NSE 30. So So, but you see, the advantage of that is that instead of you investing in 1 or 2 stocks, if the 2 of them go down, okay, you will lose money. But in the NSE 30, because there are 30 different stocks across some sectors, all of them cannot be going down at the same time. So averagely, you will not lose money because the average of them is what is driving the market. Like I showed you, the entire market is doing 30.78% right now. but there are some stocks that have done over 600%. But there are stocks that have lost almost 70%. So if you invest in the NSE and the All Share Index, you'll have gained 30%. But if you are unlucky to invest in those shares that have lost money, you will have lost money. But if you are lucky to invest in those shares that have gained money, you also have gained money above the index. So most people, depending on your risk adverseness, determines where you play. So if you are very good, you can take on the market yourself. But if you are very risk adverse, you can say, look, let me play safe and trade the baskets as against the individual stocks. So
Nice
what we
one.
usually advise is, by the time we speak with you, know your risk adverseness, we can now determine what exactly to prefer to you. At least you're aware of the risk, you're aware of the rewards, and then you can take it from there.
So does the traditional stock has leverage?
For other clients, yes. In Nigeria, we don't do leverage.
Around leverage. So everything is
what happened, or what happened, is that you can actually get a facility to invest in the market, but you discover that that is outside the market. So basically what it means is that if I have 10 naira, somebody can borrow you an additional 90 naira to make 100 naira. Then you cannot take the entire 100 naira and go to the market. So that transaction of funding you for leverage is actually done outside the market, unlike in some clients where it's so integrated that you don't even know who is giving you the leverage, even though it's a broker thing. Okay, so because it's all on the platform, you just click a few buttons. But we in Nigeria, we are actually still doing it the old traditional way, where you sort out the level, you sort out the financing, and then use the funds to actually trade.
Perfect. So I think we are coming to an end. It remains to give us the contact on how our students can navigate to the local stock market. Any other questions while he's preparing for that? Do you have question, Akaba? Do you have question? So for those of us who have time, after this section, we could do market analysis, those of us who are already trading on different market. So I will be available for it. So any questions so far? So this class is very nice. I think we should vote to continue this class again, like to treat another topic, because I think it's broad. How many of us support that? So that we could be able to have another course on equity investing. One thing you should know about is that that means most likely, okay, somebody is raising a hand. Felix Udowu. Okay, Felix Udowu, you can ask a question.
I'm only voting. You said we should vote if we should take other classes.
Okay, yeah. So okay, so we should take more classes on equity investing. Since you have voted, I think anyone that wants us to have more classes on equity investing, fine. Then you could see that we have also gotten a discount that you can even start investing. Our student can start coming in with 5,000 naira. So, like I said, one of the benefits of all this is that it should broaden your understanding for you to understand more about what we're doing, so that you have confidence in what you are going in for. Some of us who are playing on leverage product or international market are not able to understand it. We think that maybe you are just playing. That's why you're not taking it serious. But when you're able to diversify your knowledge into all these things, it will give you a broad understanding that you can make a decent investment or trading decisions. Then we will do more of this course in coming weeks. Our next course will be how to trade on commodities, not online commodities or an international market alone, both locally and international. So how to trade it, because the companies we work with in Nigeria and abroad, they are able to connect to different markets floors. So you could also trade gold futures or gold ETF and other physical commodities available from the local exchange or local market, not just only on international market. Then you could now see that some of the differences now between trading online, let's say on online forex, and the trading on stock. Did you notice any difference? Did anyone notice any difference? Any difference?
Yes, sir. There's a big difference. Yeah.
Okay, so what difference did you notice? At least one.
Let me put it this way. I noticed that in forex market, actually,
I think you are lost. Okay, did anyone notice another difference? I wanted to know, there's a question that spoke my mind. How profitable is it? How profitable is the stock market based on the fact we are buying a unit? Let's say if I buy, if I use my 5,000 naira to buy a unit, and the price move from the same price, add another 1 naira, how much will I make? How much is most likely my profit? So it's a very important question for my own side. I don't know of you. Try to know how profitable. Most of us like to trade on online forex and commodity because the profitability. Then this one, how profitable is it? To quickly, let's say if the share of the share price of the instrument I'm holding just moved, maybe with one naira or 1%, or what is most likely to be my profit? Then assuming it drops with 1%, what is most likely to be my profit? I think Nwafo is back. He wanted to say something, and you got disconnected. Did anyone want to say something? Okay. So I think we will end it here. If we have more questions, you can throw it in. We'll be able to communicate it to our facilitator, and we'll fix another class in coming weeks, and take it off from there. For those of us that want to start, I don't know if the link has been shared. Has the content been shared? Let us get the contact across. I think all of you are in our WhatsApp group, in our WhatsApp channel. Is there anyone that's not in our WhatsApp channel? So that if I get the contact of how you can be able to open a stock account, then we'll share it with you. Is there anyone that's not in our WhatsApp channel or have access to our email? So it will be easier for you to, you could chat us or you could send us an email here. You could send us an email. So someone said I'm not on the WhatsApp channel. But after now, I suggest we should go into market analysis because we still have some minutes left, but anyone who wants to go can easily go. Thank you so much, Dr. Nnamdi. I want to share our WhatsApp channel with you, with Mohammed. Let me share the channel to you. Where is it? Let me get it. I think it's this one. You can be able to join our WhatsApp channel. Yeah. Somebody said I'm not on WhatsApp channel. So this is the link to the channel. You could join our channel and we'll be able to get you more information from it and how you can be able to start. I will actually encourage you to diversify. Encourage you to diversify, not just focus only on online leverage and commodity and margin trading. You could obviously find your way to other markets where you can be able to diversify. You may think that there's no profit there. There's actually big profit in those areas. In fact, that's even where we see big investors more. because some of you are afraid of investing in some other forex because you think you lose money. There are a lot of areas where big investors are playing that you may not know about. So connecting you to them is our mission. Getting you to know how it works is our mission. Giving you the right knowledge instead of influencing you, rather we inform you. So this is our mission, to make sure that our students get the best and you get the best value in whatever thing we are doing. Okay, that's where we end now. We have spent an hour 45 minutes. We expected to spend maximum 2 hours. So let us use the next 30 minutes to discuss our own market. Is there anyone who is trading? See what is happening in the market these days? Is anyone trading? I just want to thank everyone, thank our facilitator, thank our students. I believe you are getting value. And you have joined the Minulian gang. Believe me, you have the chance of making more money as you start trading. And I look forward to see you guys started trading, and keep in touch with us. By next week, we will be able to continue from where we stop. Those on our 6 months class, keep following us up. Those on our mentorship class, keep following us up, because we have a lot of opportunity we are bringing for you. Those who have started trading, we'll be able to update you about it in our channels. And make sure you contact us. Thank you, and do have a lovely, lovely afternoon.